I have a huge collection of Funko Pops, as you guys could probably tell. But that isn't the only thing that I collect. I am also a huge fan of Youtooz, and not just because I have my own. And another one coming very soon. And recently they've been doing a lot of licensed figures, and I, well, as you guys could tell, have been picking up a lot of them. And so what I wanted to do today was take a bunch of the licensed figures and compare them to Funko Pops, and I thought it'd be a lot of fun. And so I guess we'll just start with the figure on top here, because I know which ones are in the boxes, but specifically, I don't know which one's which. Alright, so this first one here, if you guys want to check out the side of the box, is looking like this. And I definitely know who it is. Or at least I know which line it's from. Oh, it's the I Have $3 Patrick. And if you guys have never seen Youtooz before, every single one of them, if you buy it from Youtooz's website, is shipped in a protector. And something else that Youtooz does that's pretty interesting is that every single figure has a sleeve. And for this one here, it's got like that SpongeBob, I don't even know what you call it. I was gonna say pineapple all the way around. That's kind of what it looks like. And then you can also see that it has the SpongeBob logo, which I really enjoy. And when you take the sleeve off, you can then see the figure underneath, and this one looks pretty nice. Oh, and every single Youtooz also has quotes on the boxes. So on the side here it says, "How much?" And then on the back it says, "That looks like the toilet plunger I threw out yesterday." And then also when you pop open the top, there should be a quote on the inside. Ah, it says, "I have $3." It's not a great Patrick impression, but I think it's close enough. And now let's take a look at Patrick out of the box, and something that I really enjoy is that they gave him this flower base so he could have his tiny little feet. And I really enjoyed the amount of detail that Youtooz put into the $3, and also if it didn't look very good, it would kind of ruin the figure because that's the point of the figure. He has $3. Oh, and when it comes to every single Youtooz, they have their iconic eyes on them, and with this one here, they are a little bit smaller, but you can see in his pupils, they are definitely there. And like I mentioned earlier, I did want to compare the Youtooz to the Funko Pops, and one thing that I'm noticing right away is that they actually have the same designs on their boxes. And now let's pop this one out of the box so we can see them next to each other. And one thing that I am noticing is that they both went with different memes. This one here was when he nailed a board to his head, and this one, of course, is the I Have $3. And I really do enjoy both of these figures, and one thing that I think is great is that they have different memes attached to them. Because if they both had a board nailed to their head, it just wouldn't be as fun. And I think the only gripe that I have is that Funko super simplified Patrick. Like, he doesn't have his belly button, he doesn't have his mouth open, his eyes aren't that detailed with like eyelids or anything like that, when they definitely could have added like a little bit of purple on the top. But I do want to mention that Funko Pops are like $10 to $15 depending on where you pick them up, and then these ones here, the Youtooz, are around $30. So you're definitely expecting more detail when it comes to the figure, and I think they definitely brought that. Alright everybody, now let's get on to this next box here, which should have 3 figures inside of it. Alright everyone, I was correct. There was 3 figures inside of here, and this is actually the Family Guy collection. So, we have here the Swole Stewie. We also have Hurt Peter and Joe Swanson. And now before you guys start commenting it, I know Joe doesn't have a Funko Pop, but I figured I might as well show him off anyway. I know I do want to let you guys know this is actually the first time I've ever seen the sleeves on these characters, and I really do like it because it looks like the intro, the one where like the curtains open up. And if you guys want to check it out, there's the side of the curtain, and then the back, and then the other side of the curtain. And if you guys want to take a look at all 3 of these figures together before I take them out of their protectors and out of their boxes, here they are. And now I think before we get into too much detail, I want to take a look at their boxes first. So let's slide off Peter and see what's going on here. So it is called Hurt Peter on the front there, and it's in the Family Guy collection. Then on the side here it goes... And then also on the back here it says, "Run home, Peter! Run as fast as you can!" And something that I'm really enjoying about the box is that it's almost like their front lawn. So you can see this is Peter in front of the mailbox where he falls and hurts his knee. And then if you look on the back side here, it actually connects all the way to the side. Now I'm actually kind of curious as to what the quote is on the inside of the box. It's the same thing again. And now I do want to apologize about this. I don't actually have the Peter Funko Pop. I don't know why, but I never picked it up. And so I will have some photos on the screen if you guys want to check them out next to each other. But taking a look at the Peter Youtooz, I am really enjoying this. And I know I was talking about Youtooz and their iconic eyes earlier and how they put it on every single figure. But for the Family Guy ones, they skipped them. And I'm kind of enjoying that because it makes them look more like the characters in the show. And I was trying to see if maybe there was any spot where they have the eyes, and on the bottom it just has the Youtooz logo, but then on the front there, I guess Peter's got his eyes like in a bit of an upside down U. Maybe we can count it. And now let's take a look at Stewie, and on the side here it says, "Alright fat man, let's do this," and then on the back it says, "Well, would you look at me?" And then on the inside here it looks like I look like a guy who's been hitting the gym. Because in the episode he's not actually hitting the gym, it's I'm not gonna tell ya. And taking a look at Stewie, this is a pretty funny figure, and something that I do really enjoy about Youtooz is they don't just give you the clear base for the most part, they'll do things that actually go along with the character. So for this one here, he's actually standing on top of a weight. And the same thing with Patrick. When we looked at him earlier, he was standing on top of a flower, which is the same design that's on his pants. And now I know I didn't have Peter, but I do have the Stewie Funko Pop, and I do want to let you guys know this before I show you the figure. This one here came out in 2021, when this one was back in 2015, so I'm going to give Funko a little bit of a break on this one. Oh, and actually, before I take it out of the box, if you guys want to check the back, you can see that there was a Peter as well as a Brian, and then 2 versions of Stewie, and then that's about it. And I don't know if maybe people didn't enjoy the line, or maybe Funko just couldn't translate them very well into their figures, but whatever it is, I enjoyed them, and I wish I got more of the set. And so here is Stewie out of the box, and not even taking a look at the way they did the figure, I just think the paint job on the Youtooz is a lot cleaner. Like, looking at the hair especially, it looks a little bit fuzzy in some spots, where the ones on the Youtooz look pretty clean. And one thing that I will give props to Funko on is that they gave Stewie a normal figure where he's just in his overalls with Rupert in his hand. And don't get me wrong, I do still really enjoy the Youtooz, but I'm hoping that they make a V2 in the future where it's just him and Rupert and maybe his time machine. That could be cool. But I still think taking a look at these next to each other, I'm enjoying the small Stewie a little bit more, mainly because of the head. And I think that Funko definitely could have like rounded off the edges a little bit more, but besides that, they both look like really nice figures. And now, even though he doesn't have a Funko Pop, I still want to take a look at Joe Swanson, because this one here is a pretty funny figure, and I don't know why Funko didn't make one for him. And the only reason I can think of Funko not making a Joe is because maybe the figures didn't do very well, like I mentioned earlier. And if you guys are wondering on the quotes, it says, "Let's do it!" And then on the back here it says, "This is my wheelchair. There are many like it, but this one is mine. Without me, my wheelchair is useless. Without my wheelchair, I am useless." That's a pretty good one. And then let's find out what the inside quote is. Batter up. Oh, and this makes sense. I didn't even think about it. It's because he's got the baseball bat in his hand. It makes sense now. And now here is Joe, and even though I don't have anything to compare him to, I do still think it's a really nice figure, and the baseball bat looks great, and just overall, they molded his head pretty well. And also, I want to mention that the wheelchair looks really nice with the spokes in it, as well as like the small kind of like bars going all the way around. It's got some pretty nice detail. Alrighty, now let's get into the last collection that I've got for today, which is something pretty heavy. And I'll be honest, when I picked up this box, I did not expect them to be this dense, but they really are. Okay, I'm just looking at the sides of the boxes here, and they already look amazing. Like, I mean, the colors on these things are crazy, and if you guys are wondering, the 2 that we have here, we've got Kong on Throne, as well as Ray Godzilla. And now I want to show you guys what I saw when I first opened these up. So on the back there, we've got the Godzilla versus Kong, and then over here, we've got the Godzilla, and then on this side, we've got Kong. Seriously, they look amazing. And I think for this one, we're going to be starting with Ray Godzilla, because I really want to take a look at this one compared to the Funko Pop, because I'm pretty sure they both have that thing where like the Ray connects in the front. I think so. And now normally when Youtooz does quotes on their boxes, they do it where it's the actual character saying stuff. So for this one here, I honestly have no clue what it's going to say. Like, is it going to be just like growls and roars? It is, King of Nature on the side, and then on the back side here it says City Smashing, Thunder Crashing, Monster Warrior. And also, I actually forgot this about the figure. This here was a Books A Million exclusive, but you could also buy it on Youtooz' website. And now let's find out what the inside quote says, and then we'll take it out of the box. It says, "The world's champion, fitting." Okay, so I was right about the Ray being separate, and if you guys want to take a look, there is the Godzilla, and then when you put the Ray in, there's actually like a little bit of a circle on the inside, and it just presses right in there, I think. Yeah, just like that. And now, I mean, taking a look at this figure, it really is crazy the amount of detail that Youtooz put into it, especially because the Ray part actually has like a little bit of, I want to say like, maybe concrete or gravel actually coming up from the bottom. Or it might be more like asphalt because it seems to be part of a road, but either way, it's got that little bit of debris and I really like it. And then the way they did the dorsal plates on the back, that really does look nice. And the only gripe that I have with this figure is that I wish it was glow in the dark. And now before we take a look at Kong, I actually want to take a look at the Ray Godzilla Funko Pop because there is a lot going on here and I want to see which one I enjoy more. Okay everybody, so here is the figure, and the Ray Godzilla here really does look nice, and they have similar sized heads, and also the Funko Pop is just a little bit taller. But the only thing that I'm not enjoying as much about the Funko Pop is the actual Ray part, because it looks alright, but definitely not as good as this one. And it is kind of funny that they did it where you both have to like shove them into their mouth, but it makes the figure a lot nicer because of how big it makes the Ray part. And now taking a look at both of these, I think my favorite one has to be the Funko Pop, just because I really do do like the body a little bit more. It's not as chunky, and it looks a little bit nicer in my opinion. And it would have won by a lot more if the heat ray looked similar to this one. I'm wondering if I can like swap it out just to see what it would look like, because you never know, it might fit all right. And now it's probably not going to sit very well, but I'm going to do it anyways just to show you guys, like, wow, if it looked like this, that would be a 10 out of 10. And now, don't get me wrong, I do still really enjoy the Youtooz, I just think he looks a little bit chunky. Which, if I'm gonna be honest, isn't always a bad thing, especially when you look at the Youtooz plush, that thing's pretty cute. And now let's take a look at the Kong figure, and I want to see what the quotes are on this thing, because they're probably gonna be very similar to the Godzilla one. Yeah, this one here says, "Kong is king," and then on the back here it says, "We need Kong, the world needs him." And now here is what Kong is looking like, and I love that they put him on the throne, and I wish that Funko made a deluxe just like this. And I know this happens a lot with Youtooz because for the most part, they only make one figure of every single character, so why not go above and beyond? And now let's take a look at the Kong, which is inside of my Godzilla vs. Kong 2-pack, and something kind of interesting is that this is also a BAM exclusive. So potentially, if you go to the store, you could find this and this guy sitting right next to each other. And now we're not going to be taking a look at the Godzilla today, I just want to talk about the Kong, because that's the figure that we've got here. And looking at both of these next to each other, I mean, they're both really nice. And now I do want to point out one thing that I'm really enjoying about the Funko Pop is that he's almost like growling and he's got his fists like he's about to pound his chest. I think that's really nice when the Kong here just looks very stern. And also, I wish that they did switch the eye colors over on this one here to be that kind of like orange color. It would have looked really nice. And I wish that I actually had the Kong with Battle Axe so we can compare those, but it's still a really good comparison. And something else that I noticed about the Funko Pop is that it even has 2 scratches on his nose, when the Youtooz does not. And for this one here, I'm going to give it a 50-50. I really enjoy both. And now you guys might have thought that that is all of the figures that we had for today, but I actually have one more, and it's inside of this right here. And yes, I said one more when before this was a 3-pack. And if you guys haven't been keeping up with Youtooz, I guess I can give you guys some hints as I open up this box. This is part of the Godzilla vs. Kong collection, and that's about all I got. Well, I guess I can give you one more hint. It is 2 figures inside of 1 box. And I haven't actually seen this one in person, and oh my gosh, this thing is huge. And if you guys want to take a look at it, here it is. Oh my gosh! Okay, so this here is the Godzilla vs. Kong, I guess you could say like Youtooz moment. It doesn't have an official name for it, but this is definitely a moment from the movie. And something that I didn't expect Youtooz to do is actually add a protector for all of these weird size figures. Now it's gonna be kind of hard to get this off, but let's see what I can do here. And on the quotes it says Titanic Throwdown, and then on the back it says the Ultimate Battle Royale. And now let me take this thing out of the box, and actually on the inside here it says Hail to the Kings. Maybe a spoiler? Yeah, I don't know. The movie's been out for long enough. If you wanted to see it, you probably have already. And now everybody, let's take a look at this figure here, and seriously, this thing is crazy. And I love how they put them in completely different poses, and I guess this is where we would be getting our battle damaged Kong, as well as the one where he's got like the mouth open, very similar to the Funko Pop. And then when it comes to the Godzilla, it's very similar to the Heat Ray one. It's still a little bit chunky, but he doesn't have any of the blue on him, which I do really enjoy. And also, something really crazy about this that I do want to mention is that these figures here are normally $30, and for this one here, if you guys want to try to guess, it was only $35. So $5 more for a way bigger figure. And when I heard that they were going to be coming out with figures like this, and I believe they teased it before they told us the price, I was expecting maybe like $60 or $70, but $35 is a great deal for something like this. And I think the only thing that I wish was a little bit different about this, but I'm not going to fault them for it at all because it was only $5 more for such a big figure, is I wish the water was a little bit clear, but other than that, it's practically perfect. And well, anyways, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know in the comment section below, which one did you guys enjoy more, the Youtooz or the Funko Pops? Because for me, it was a toss-up on a lot of them, especially the Godzilla vs. Kong ones, like they all looked great. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you want to see more from me in the future, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all that, but this has been an episode of Top Pops. Popsters, thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow.
Drippin' like a school. On a four with school. Baby gonna screw. She funny with it, cool. V5 full thump, I'm a hump on a bounce, Jack and Jill up a hill. Baby tryna get a meal. Mary had a little lamb, I really do not fuck with that. She calling me the muffin man, I surely like the muffin top. Snow, like my lashes.